This academic isn't celebrating Rishi Sunak becoming the UK's first Asian Prime Minister. Writer Dalia Gabriel explains why his Asian heritage isn't what matters.
Black and brown people in the UK are not celebrating the first non-white UK Prime Minister in the way that you might expect. Rishi Sunak is many things, but he's not in any way an underdog. Modern capitalism itself is systemically racist, but there was always space within that systemic racism for a select few people of colour or racialized minorities to rise to the top. As long as the majority of people of colour in the world remain available for exploitation.
Multimillionaire Sunak's life is far from the average UK citizen. He has more personal wealth than King Charles III and has previously worked for financial giant Goldman Sachs and other hedge funds.
When you look at why he's so wealthy, it's in part precisely because of colonial era tax loopholes, the non-dom status his wife uses to avoid taxes. It's a colonial relic. It allowed plantation owners and colonizers to avoid paying taxes on wealth that they accrued abroad. The offshore tax havens that Sunak holds his wealth in, again, exist because of colonialism.
The former finance minister's wife, who's a billionaire heiress, ended her non-domicile tax arrangement in 2022 after public backlash. The couple have an estimated $824 million fortune, while 14 million people in the UK cannot afford regular meals.
When you look at the cost of living crisis, for example, that's something that's going to disproportionately impact ethnic minority households. Rishi Sunak is telling those households, we can't help you, it's too expensive. Yet at the same time, he and his wife have been using colonial era tax loopholes to deprive the state of tax revenue that could have been used to provide people the kind of cushion that they need.
Sunak came to power after Liz Truss resigned after only 44 days. He's the fourth UK Prime Minister in a row to initially come to power without a general election. While in power over the last 12 years, the Conservative Party has enacted austerity policies, stripped migrants of their rights, and cracked down on democratic rights, like the right to protest.
He has added fuel to the fire of a culture war politics that always ends in racist posturing. He probably sees himself as part of an anti-woke brigade that ultimately targets trans people, people of colour, and social justice activists. We need to focus less on the identity in identity politics and more on the politics. What we need to do is actually abolish the very concept of a top and the bottom and actually create a more equal and liberated society overall.